our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on the top 10 or top 5, and you still competing. It just don't make sense.
Well, that vote is fake as That's not a real vote. That's not a real vote. They give it to who they want to give it to. They give it to their darlings.
Cowboy Carter, Beyonce.
It's the price you pay, when you're early in your career, you feel that you have to listen. And when you buck, they buck harder and they make threats. And those threats are
50 Cent and Eminem are finally teaming up. And they're calling out Jay-Z and Beyoncé for some seriously shady behavior. They're accusing the power couple of everything from stealing from black artists to buying industry awards and even crushing anyone who dares to stand in their way. 50 is claiming that Jay-Z is still actively trying to sabotage his business moves even after all these years. And Eminem? He's been dropping cryptic lyrics that hint at how the entire music industry is being controlled by powerful figures in the background. Their long-simmering beef with Jay-Z is starting to boil over, and now things are getting heated like never before. Meanwhile, Beyoncé is under fire for allegedly stealing songwriting credits and blocking other female artists from getting their shine. People are pointing fingers, saying she played a part in holding back women like Aaliyah, Mia, Mary J. Blige, and Carrie Hilson. The list of names just keeps growing, and it's getting harder to ignore. But that's not even the half of it. Jay-Z and Beyoncé's close connection to Diddy is being dragged back into the spotlight. Jay might have avoided that Jane Doe lawsuit for now, but the woman involved is now suggesting she was pressured to change her story, after some sketchy people popped up at her doorstep out of nowhere. With all these accusations hitting the surface, people are starting to ask, are Jay-Z and Beyoncé really as untouchable as they seem? Or is their carefully crafted empire finally starting to show some serious cracks? They've simply mastered the art of keeping things clean on the surface while covering up the chaos underneath. But now the question is, do 50 Cent and Eminem really have the inside scoop on Jay-Z and Beyoncé's alleged dark moves? And just how many careers, or even lives, have been crushed in the process? Let's break it all down. For years, Jay-Z and Beyoncé were treated like music industry royalty, untouchable, unstoppable, and always praised. Anyone who dared to criticize them got labeled a bitter hater or jealous outsider. But that flawless image? It's starting to crack. Badly. More and more voices from the industry are stepping up, and leading the charge are none other than 50 Cent and Eminem. Let's kick it off with 50 Cent. He's not backing down, calling Jay-Z out for being insecure, jealous, and straight-up petty, and this time, he's got receipts. Back in 2023, 50 dropped a bombshell, claiming that Jay tried to use his NFL ties to block him from performing at the Super Bowl. But the plan flopped big time, because Eminem reportedly refused to hit that stage unless 50 was part of the show too. Now that's loyalty, and a serious power move. In a recent sit-down on Talk with Flea featuring Cameron, 50 Cent fired more shots, putting Jay-Z on full blast for still playing dirty. He straight up said Jay's been moving shady behind the scenes, not just in music, but in the business world too. What's wild is that 50 even admitted Jay doesn't have anything left to prove, and still he's allegedly trying to mess up 50's deals out of straight spite. Like, why's he even bothered? But it doesn't stop there. 50 and Eminem have officially joined forces to expose what they claim is the Carter's Grammy rigging operation. 50 didn't hold back, accusing Jay of using his marriage to Beyoncé as leverage to lock in awards. Meanwhile, Eminem's been saying it for years. The Grammys are rigged, it's all politics, and awards go to whoever's got the right connections or the deepest pockets. This year, Beyoncé finally snagged Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter, but not everyone's buying that win. A lot of folks think Jay pulled some major strings, especially after that moment at last year's Grammys when he stormed the stage and dragged the Recording Academy for constantly snubbing Beyoncé. Thing is, that whole speech backfired. Fans weren't feeling it at all. It felt super hypocritical. He was up there taking an award while slamming the same people who gave it to him. Like, if the Grammys really don't matter, why chase their validation so hard instead of walking away from the whole show? The whole situation just felt off, and it added even more fuel to the rumors that the Carters have been climbing to the top by allegedly buying influence and blackmailing people behind the scenes. For years, insiders have been whispering that the Grammys aren't really about talent. They're all about industry politics and backroom deals. And one of the loudest voices exposing that mess? Eminem. Eminem's been calling out the Grammys for years, saying it straight, the whole thing's a scam. He's even vowed never to show up again. And it's not because he lost. He made it real clear he's not bitter about competition. If someone drops a better album, he's cool with that. But what really ticks him off is how the Grammys keep using his name for attention. They make it look like he's got a legit shot at winning, just to boost ratings and hype up the show, and then they shut him out completely when it counts. And when people asked him if he'd ever go back if he was on the voting committee, he shut that down fast. Em said it wouldn't change anything, because at the end of the day, the whole system is rigged from the inside, and the votes, they don't even mean a thing. At the same time, 50 Cent's been going in on the Recording Academy too, but he didn't just say the awards are rigged, he went even harder. He claimed Jay-Z's Grammy wins have less to do with talent and more to do with his marriage to Beyoncé. According to 50, the Academy knows exactly what they're doing. As long as J and B show up to the show, the ratings shoot through the roof. So to make sure they attend, they keep handing them nominations and awards. It's all about the optics, not the music. But 50 wasn't done yet. On a recent episode of the Flagrant podcast, he doubled down, saying flat out that Jay-Z's entire Grammy streak is tied to his relationship with Beyoncé. And then he dropped the real bomb. He even called their marriage a contract. He hinted that their whole relationship might be more about keeping their brand strong and their careers untouchable than anything real behind closed doors. But 50 Cent ain't the only one accusing Jay-Z of pulling shady moves to stay at the top. A lot of insiders have come forward over the years, saying both Jay and Beyoncé allegedly worked behind the scenes to hold back other artists, just to make sure no one outshined them. One name that keeps coming up is Beyoncé's former bodyguard, Uncle Ron. Before his recent passing from pneumonia, he made some serious claims, saying he had proof that Jay and Beyoncé deliberately sabotaged the careers of multiple artists and destroyed countless lives while climbing the ladder to fame and power. And then there's Jaguar Wright, Jay-Z's former background singer and easily one of his loudest critics. She's been calling him out for years, and according to her, several people who were close to Jay, including Harlem legend Big L, either had their careers mysteriously derailed or lost their lives under strange circumstances. Also, Jay could clear the path to superstardom. These accusations are heavy, and people are starting to wonder just how deep this all really goes. Let's talk about Big L for a second. Back in the early 90s, Big L was one of Harlem's rawest underground talents, known for his insane freestyles and lyrical fire. He landed a deal with Columbia Records and dropped a solid debut that had people watching him closely. But after Columbia dropped him, Big L didn't quit. He flipped the script and started building his own label. That move caught the eye of Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller. Big things were about to happen, but just when it looked like his career was finally about to explode, tragedy struck. Big L was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in Harlem on February 15, 1999, and to this day, his murder remains unsolved. But if you ask Jaguar Wright, she doesn't think it was random. She's openly said she believes Jay-Z might have had something to do with it. That's a heavy accusation, but she's not the only one raising eyebrows. And then there's DMX, one of the only rappers besides 50 Cent who didn't bite his tongue when it came to calling out Jay-Z. DMX straight up said Jay was bitter and jealous. And when Jay stepped into the role of Def Jam president in 2004, DMX had already been carrying the label, dropping 5 back-to-back #1 albums from 1998 to 2003. When it came time for DMX to drop his 6th album, Year of the Dog, again, he claimed Jay-Z purposely delayed the release, just to clear the runway for his own big comeback. DMX felt like it was a calculated move to push him out the spotlight, but that's just the tip of it. Back in 2005, DMX released a track called The Industry, where he went all in on the shady side of the music game. And honestly, a lot of the stuff he exposed back then still feels real today. Like nothing's changed behind the curtain. Even Irv Gotti, who was deep in the industry, once said Jay-Z was mad jealous of DMX. He even claimed Jay and his mentor, Leor Cohen, used to laugh at X behind his back, thinking he'd never blow up. And it wasn't just DMX who felt that pressure. Beanie Siegel's story sounds way too familiar. He said it felt like someone was always pulling strings to keep him from leveling up. According to Beanie, Jay-Z would purposely drop his own albums around the same time, making sure Beanie couldn't outsell him or break past a certain point. Real slick moves happening behind closed doors. Now, Beanie Siegel did admit he made some missteps, especially with his legal troubles, but he made it very clear, Jay-Z's shady moves weren't by accident. According to him, it was all done on purpose to keep others in check. But let's not act like Beyonce is just a bystander in all this. While some fans try to paint her as someone being controlled by Jay, it's hard to believe she stuck around this long if she wasn't also playing the same game. Word is, they both know how to take out anyone they see as a threat. Here's one example that raised eyebrows. When Beyonce left Destiny's Child and started dating Jay, something strange allegedly happened behind the scenes. Producer Rich Harrison, the mastermind behind some major hits, was reportedly pulled away from rising R&B singer Amiri, who many saw as serious competition for Beyonce. And if you remember Ameri's track One Thing, that sound, it's basically the blueprint for Crazy in Love. The timing and moves were too precise to be coincidence. And then there's Carrie Hilson, who had one of the most talked about fallouts with Beyonce. It all started when Carrie's producers allegedly tricked her into recording a diss track aimed at Bey, setting her up to get dragged and canceled by the public. Carrie denied it was meant as a diss, but things only got worse after she refused to hold a magazine that had Beyonce and Jay-Z on the cover. That move sparked major backlash, and the Beyhive went wild. It got so bad, Carrie was reportedly harassed by fans in real life, physically confronted on the streets. But then rumors started swirling that Beyonce was the one pulling strings behind the scenes. Some sources claimed she got Carrie's own team to set her up with that track, sabotaging Carrie's entire career while Beyonce sat back and played the victim. Carrie herself seemed to confirm it in a 2020 interview, saying she was pressured into releasing that song and that the aftermath was brutal, with serious threats thrown her way. And let's not forget about Kellis either. She accused Beyonce of stealing after Bey sampled her hit song Milkshake without asking or giving her any credit. That left a lot of people questioning what really goes down behind the scenes. Kellis didn't even know Beyonce was planning to sample her track. She found out the same way the rest of us did, through social media. She was mind-blown by what she called pure disrespect and ignorance. I heard about this the same way everyone else did, Kellis wrote. She didn't hold back, saying, "Nothing is ever as it seems. Some of the people in this business have no soul or integrity, and they have everyone fooled." Later, Kellis took to Instagram to explain why the situation hit her so hard. She pointed out how rare it is to be a Black woman in the music industry, and that this wasn't just some stranger using her work. "We've met each other. We know each other. We have mutual friends," she said. "It's not that hard to contact me. It's just common decency." But instead of apologizing or reaching out, Beyonce just silently removed the Milkshake sample and never addressed the accusations at all. And then there's Mia, another artist whose name keeps popping up. Rumor has it she was blackballed after allegedly turning down Jay-Z's advances. Mia once said people in power often abuse it in dangerous ways, making the industry a risky place for young artists just trying to make it. That comment alone had folks speculating, was she talking about Jay? A lot of artists walk into the industry with big dreams, without even realizing what they're sacrificing. When Mia was asked how she managed to avoid all the toxic energy behind the scenes, she kept it simple. She just said no and walked away. But she also hinted that saying no to certain powerful people came with a price. And that's exactly why she believes she got blackballed and had her name dragged through the mud. So as you can see, there's a long list of artists who believe Jay-Z and Beyoncé may have played a role in sabotaging their careers, and this still isn't the full list. But what do you think about all these claims coming from names like 50 Cent, Eminem, Kelly's, and others? Is there any truth to it? And are there other artists you think might have been secretly blackballed by the Carters? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your crew. And we'll catch you in the next one.